Hey, what's up, everyone? Hope everyone is well. Welcome to another analysis here at Financial Hub. Another week, another analysis. I wasn't in on Monday. I believe Ken did a wonderful job, showed you what he was watching on the market and what we are seeing happening. So remember, as we always keep saying, this is just an analysis to show you our insights, not that we're giving any trade signals or telling you what to buy and sell. At the end of the day, if you buy and sell, responsibility is all yours. But we show you what, as we have bought, how we're managing it. I may tell you to buy something and the next minute I'm already selling it. So yeah, that's how trading works. You should have what we normally say, strong opinions weekly held, meaning be very confident in where you believe market will go, what will happen, and in your analysis. But be very flexible to change your opinions, especially when the market shows different, when the markets change, when the market shows different information. So strong opinions weekly held. So that's your quote for today. Strong opinions weekly held. And with that said, I'll look at the market. I'll do a few analysis. I'll later post this video on YouTube. Fundamentally, this week it wasn't as hot as the past few weeks. With what has been aligned on their calendars, nothing much. With what I looked at, there was nothing really much. Yesterday we had the government, RBA, Philip Lowe speaking. But apart from that, later on in the week, nothing crazy. So what I'll just do, I'll go straight into the analysis. I'll share with you my screen. Share a few trades that I have. I believe last week when I shared, I don't remember what trades I had exactly, but I'll show you what I have, what I'm watching. There's a trade I've been holding for 3 weeks. Okay. I think this is the 3rd week now. So I'll start with dollar index, just generally what's happening to the dollar. You can see this crazy rally that has been happening. Look at that pattern, a beautiful channel to the upside. You can see the way it's gone, breaking important significant levels, those resistance levels which are broken. Like this level was a strong resistance level, broken, acted as support. Now we've broken this other one, which might come and also act as a support, maybe because there's a lot of dollar buying. That's why we are seeing this market. Most of the pairs, if you look at Euro USD, it has been falling. If you look at most of the pairs that are against the dollar the dollar has really been strengthening against them. So this is also the dollar index. What you're seeing, this pattern that's forming, we've been having bullish for the past almost 5 past days. No significant bearish signal, but maybe you might get some resistance currently where we are. You can see this level, okay? But I'm not really big in predicting market reversals. This is more of like a target level that you should be looking at. If you look at the 4-hour chart, more or less you're seeing same thing, but expounded, okay? Look at that pattern, okay? Higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher low. Trendline bounce. This was the 3rd trendline bounce all the way to that target. You can see that bullish momentum that came, and that's why we normally advise such trades are really good. You don't want to be missing them. So you can see that bullish momentum all the way from the 93.3 all the way to 96.2, okay? A good target level. So I believe there might be some correction here, maybe, okay? We're yet to see. There might be some correction. That's what we're getting today, especially depending on how the daily candlestick closes. It will determine a lot on what will happen on that pair, okay? So this is what I'm watching on the dollar. Now bringing that to my rest of analysis. So same time we got a buy here, okay? When I was looking at dollar strength is when I got a Aussie dollar short, okay? Around this level over here. If you look at the 1 week chart, so I've not shown you guys a 1 week chart for a long time, but it's important to look at it. Just remember the big picture, okay? So you can see this is more of a long-term trend that has been happening. Market has been in a downward trend, but for the past, since March 2020, we had this bullish run, okay? Back to that trend line, and now you're seeing market has been falling ever since. If you go to the daily chart, so just a top-down analysis, you can see it was aligned with this one, a first touch, second touch, third touch, okay? This third touch is what we're relying on to get that bearish momentum to the downside. So supporting that bullish strength on the dollar. And now if you go down to the 4-hour chart, we've seen market has been following sort of like a trend line. Let me show you on the 1-hour chart. It's much more clear. So market ever since we started that downward trend, we've been having this lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high in the form respecting this trend line. Yesterday we had a 3rd trend line bounce over here. You can see how market has respected that bounce and move further lower, okay? So I still expect further shorts, market to continue lower long term, okay? If you can get some correction, I'd be looking at these key levels. Especially, I was looking at this trend line. I was looking to see if market can get to this trend line. See this first touch, second touch. We can get maybe a third touch over here, which can cause some reversal to happen. Maybe back to the 0.7400, okay? So that's what I'm watching. Yesterday we had a good bearish momentum. I want to see if today the market can continue with that. So that's what I have on this one. Just one trade running on that. USD card. Yes, last week I had a short on USD card which was taken out, okay? With a small loss, about 0.5%, not so bad. So if you look at the 1 day chart, let's start with the 1 week chart. 1 week chart, especially if the dollar has started gaining strength, this can also act as a very strong support. What you're seeing here, you can see this pattern that market came in and then started this bullish momentum, a bit of a correction. We might be still within this big term, long term region. Market can still sort of push to the upside, but we'll be yet to see that. If you go to the 1 day chart, so note I'm not using any indicators or anything. It's just pure chart analysis and candlestick patterns. So if you look at this, something that I should keep in mind, I'm looking to see if, at first I was very bearish. I was expecting this market to continue to the lower side, but now that things have changed, I'm looking to see what can happen to the dollar, especially to the USD card, especially to the upside. We sort of had a pattern that I remember I had a short trade. Let me see. It was a trend line bounce in line with the flag formation. To sort of like this, yeah, it was this pattern. So here, so I had this trade over here. You can see this first touch, second touch. I had a third touch over here. That was expecting market to move lower at least one more time, but instead market moved further up. You can see we strongly broke this trend line. That's why I got rid of it. And now market broke also this significant level, 1.250 level. Market broke to the upside. We came and retested it. This I believe was yesterday, and market has been moving further up ever since. It was either yesterday or on Monday, and we've been moving further up on this one. So I don't have any trade running on this one. Maybe if market causes a correction, maybe to come to this trend line, maybe we might get that bullish momentum to the upside. But I'll be watching for now, especially if that dollar gets some correction. It'll be easy to see this pair also correcting quite a bit. Gold on the other side has been moving quite. Let's go to the daily chart. Been having quite some bullish momentum. So I remember we had some sort of short term, we had a bias to the downside, okay? But ever since market broke this 1830 level with that significant strong bounce, we sort of changing bias sort of a bit, looking to see if market can continue to the upside. What you're normally seeing when market breaks a significant level is what follow through does it have. If you see this one, we had a breakout, and sort of market entered into sort of wedge-like pattern on the 4-hour chart. So we had a good follow through, but market did not continue that strong. So we sort of had this pattern, sort of like a wedge-like pattern, and market yesterday started dropping. So I believe we can go back, maybe retest the 1830 level before we see any significant moves to the upside. But also on this one, I'm more seated on my hand, seated on cash, just watching what is happening on this one, not forcing anything to happen. Okay, so that's gold. And if I go to the rest of the other pairs, what are we watching? Dow Jones, actually, sorry, I forgot to go to Dow Jones. Dow Jones has been, as well as the other pairs, they've been really moving into all-time highs, okay? But ever since we broke that all-time highs, we've been sort of getting a bit of a correction, okay? Let's zoom it in. A bit of a correction. So we got this breakout, market slowly and gradually just moving to the upper side, and then we got this sort of correction, better seen on the 4-hour chart over here, which I expect market at least to come and bounce off this trend line, or maybe the significant even support level at the 35,600, 35,500 level, if market can get that correction. If not, we can wait to see maybe a trend line bounce over here, a third trend line bounce. You can see this first touch, second touch, sort of forming a channel to the upper side. Coming down, we can get a bounce off that level before we move any further up, okay? So if market continues to the downside, first target maybe around 35.90 level or 3600 level. If it breaks to the downside, maybe the 35,500 before any significant push to the upside. So that's what I'm watching on this one. Just a bit of a correction before that market continues. I don't see anything negative on the stocks, like anything going to turn or to make it enter into bearish territory. I'm still looking for that upside move. If I go to the rest of the currencies, just a big overview, wide overview, Euro USD has been following the same pattern that has been following on the DXY. So you can see this pattern, a beautiful channel formation to the downside. Look at how market has respected that. Look at that. A first multiple touches over here, came gotten a second significant touch, and you can see this third touch. Market has come, we've gotten a trend line channel touch to the downside. Market has respected that level. So this is how market forms when market is moving, forming patterns. It's normally quite repetitive and quite the more you spot them, the more predictable they can be. So a third trendline bounce is normally a good predictable level for market to bounce. Once it does that 3 times, the 4th time we're normally a bit wary, but the 3rd time is the best. So you can see that third trendline bounce, the way it came with so much momentum as compared to the other trendline bounces. Okay, so you can see that significant bounce, market breaking those key levels. No significant correction that has been happening really to the downside, because you can see this impulse correction, impulse, no much corrections along the way, just a bearish fall. Okay, and that is why we normally advise, do not try catching a falling knife, because if you try doing that, you're going to get cut. Okay, EJ I don't have anything much on it. Aussie dollar, we covered it. The other antipodium pairs such as NZD, USD, okay, also they've been falling, okay, against the dollar. So dollar's been gaining across the board against many currencies. I believe also GU as well. So this one also forming almost same like pattern as the one on Aussie dollar. So the antipodium pairs, more or less, they move in tandem with one another, almost, but not perfectly, but almost. They form same patterns at the same time. Okay, so that's what we have on NZD USD, NZD JPY, nothing much. GU also has been forming a good channel to the downside. So you can see this. Let's expand it. So you can see this sort of pattern that has been forming, quite a clear one. You can see that the market has respected the lower boundary and the upper boundary. Maybe you might still continue getting that move lower to get a bounce off the lower boundary, like what we've seen on USD, Euro USD. Okay, but sort of if you look at this trend line, market is sort of breaking above it. You can see how that third trend line bounce was really good. Okay, you can see that first touch, second touch, a third trend line bounce, moved all the way down, and now market is sort of experiencing some correction. Okay, so that was a good trade as well. You can see this beautiful impulse, corrective flag, and market to the downside. So that's what we have on this one. Remember, this one I'm just doing an overview, nothing much. I don't trade them. GJ, I see someone asking about GJ. Let's look at the 1-day chart. 1-day chart, we're seeing also this one in a beautiful channel like formation. Okay, this is GJ. So you can see how market has respected the lower boundary and the upper boundary. Okay, as long as we are within this boundary, okay, I expect market to still continue with it. We can expect maybe to see a bullish momentum continuing, but if not, if market comes back to this resistance level at the 155.9 or 156, maybe there might be some rejection. Okay, because what you want to pay attention to is how market breaks significant levels. So whenever we break a significant level, what you want to see is a strong follow through. What happened to this one when it broke this level? You see this resistance, market came and broke it, immediately fell back below it. Okay, so you don't have just to be buying blindly. If market can come back to this level and retest and continue to the downside, so pay attention to those small nitty-gritty things that some people take for granted. Okay, so how are levels being broken? Is market continuing? Because if market broke to the upside, rejected this level, then continue to the upside, then that would be a very significant support level. But the fact that because if you just zoom it in, just look, just pay attention to how market is performing. Look, we came, rejected it, market moved up, broke to the downside, market came and retested it. So that means this is a very strong, significant level at the 156. So pay attention to how market is going to come back to that level. If it comes back in slowing down momentum, then it can offer a very good short position. If it comes and breaks it with more momentum, then expect a further move to the upside. So that's my insight on this one, and that's on the daily chart. 4 hour, I don't think I have anything. I don't have anything much. Maybe a trend line. I'm seeing sort of a trend line here, starting from the top. Remember, when you're doing a trend line, you want to look for the highest level and bring it lower. So yeah, so for the person who's asked, pay attention to this trend line. Depending on how, if you break it, then expect that level I was talking about. If not, if market rejects it, then it can be a very good short term, a good trade to the downside, with your targets in line with more or less this sort of a pattern. but that's only if market rejects that level, okay? So pay attention to that. The downside is also, there's a 50-50 chance on both sides. I don't trade it, so I don't have much probability on one side, but I hope that has helped. That's just my insight on it. GA can offer a good short position. I was just looking at this market yesterday. It can, you can see this sort of trend line, okay? This sort of channel. So impulse, correction, impulse, then a correction in the form of a flag, okay? The form of this flag, which can offer a very good short position if market comes back to this level. It's a significant level in line with the trend line bounce, okay? So if you trade GA, pay attention to this. This can offer a very good short trade with a risk reward. The risk reward of what? Depending on where it bounces from, it can offer a very good risk reward of about 1:4 or something like that. So those who trade this pair, you can watch for that. So that's all I have on this one. I covered the DXY. UJ had a very good bullish momentum. Targets were hit. You can see that pattern. It was very good and very simple. Impulsive correction, impulsive. Market didn't even disturb. We had this breakout, a retest of that level, and market went straight into target. So that was a good flag formation, okay? Just continuing with the impulse, okay? We normally say that impulsive, correction, and an impulsive. You can see that quick recovery after this quick fall to the downside, a quick recovery to the upside. Targets were hit yesterday. So I don't have anything much on this one. I was just watching that pattern. Right now I don't have anything. So yeah, that's much of what I have. Someone was asking a recap on gold. Like I said, just watching how market is going to respect this sort of pattern, okay? Sort of pattern to the upside. Just looking at this flag not flag, but rather wedge-like formation that was formed after we got this breakout of the 1830 level. Market sort of got that consolidation in the form of a ending wedge, and now we've gotten sort of a, yesterday evening we got a sort of that strong momentum to the downside. Of course, normally sideways movement is normally seen sometimes on the Asian session. We don't expect much. So now that we're heading into London in the next 1 minute, pay attention to what will happen to this one and many other pairs, okay? So market can continue falling back to the 1830 level, which can offer a good support level. You can see how strong of a resistance it was and how it can act as a strong support as well, okay? But that does not mean market cannot break it. It can even break it to the downside. So watch how it always depends with how market comes to that level and respect it. If it comes with momentum, it can come and break it. If it comes slowing down, forming other patterns, then it can come and respect it and move further up. So yeah, man, I think we've exhausted quite a couple of stuff. I've exhausted my head. Talking about all those things and thinking is not an easy thing. We normally say, if you think it's easy, bet on it. Come and try do what the traders are doing. But anyway, I see Maestro, a good friend of ours, saying greetings from Lamu. It's good that you're trading from Lamu and watching the market. So greetings to you as well. GPP, JPY, we covered it. Gold recap, just did it, an in-depth analysis. Thanks, CK. You're welcome, Maestro. And I hope that analysis has helped. So yeah, someone else saying Ujatek, I don't know how to say it. Thank you. You're very welcome. So remember, at the end of the day, what I say doesn't really matter. What matters is how you approach the market with proper risk management. How you approach, because you can be wrong. Your system can have a consecutive losing streak of 10 losses, but depending on how you position size and how you manage those losses can matter a lot. And that would separate winners from losers, depending on how you approach those losses that you have in the market. Some people give up, and it's good they give up because the market normally differentiates who's strong and who's not. And the good thing about the market is that it gives you immediate feedback. And what I mean by that is, if you're trading wrongly, and if you're consistently losing, the market is just giving you an immediate feedback that there's something that needs to be changed, either inside you or with your system, okay? So yeah, just a bit of advice there. At the end of the day, do a lot of back testing. Back testing will help you increase your confidence in the system and confidence in yourself as well. And then now, once you do the back testing, what you need to work on after that is a lot of psychology. And Ken teaches a lot of psychology here at Financial Hub. and I also teach how to backtest and what you need to look at when you're backtesting, when you're looking at things like POF, hit rates, and we do all those calculations because we create different systems, how they can perform different markets, and we calculate those hit rates. What is a perfect, if this is your hit rate, what risk reward do you need, and what if pattern occurrence frequency is happening this amount of times, what is the best risk to take per trade, so and such stuff. Every day is a new learning day, and we keep getting deeper and deeper into the markets because it's what we do full time, so we spend a lot of time learning here. So the more we are learning, the more we are open to teaching you guys. So come, we have a sale, 30% off on our sales. So like the masterclass where we teach all this POF, what I'm talking about, goes for normally 20,000. Normally it's 30% off. It's going for 14k, and it's a good bargain, okay? And we are open to teach you what we've learned so far. And they normally say the best investment to make is investing in yourself. Good education is one of the best things. I'm sure many of you can attest to it. But anyway, without saying much, that's it from me. Hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you have a profitable week. As Ken says, may the peeps be with you, and I'll see you guys on Friday. So peace. Have a good one.